What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to the Winners Lounge. Woo! It's the CHGO Bulls Postgame, presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. He is at BOW, BWL Sports. Ow. Our pal and producer, Joey Spathis, with us. He's at Joey Spathis. Follow him.
Joey.
In the bubble. Yeah. It's Mark K. Mark Carradzolis. Follow him on Twitter at MKHoops. We are CHGO_Bulls. Bulls win.
Bulls win.
111-97, avenging the loss last night to these very same Toronto Raptors.
Avengers 4.
Lots to get to tonight. Big night from Zach. Another quiet night from DeMar. More double teams. Bulls do better against the double teams. Bulls do better on the glass. Lots to feel good about in tonight's game.
Yeah.
Mark, kicking it to you first, buddy. Biggest takeaway from this Bulls victory tonight?
Well, I mean, it turns out the Bulls are a better basketball team when they have Zach LaVine.
What?
I mean, sometimes we overanalyze these things. I don't necessarily mean we, as in us three here, but like just the fan base more generally. But like, I don't know, like that's why I wasn't annoyed about last night's loss. And the Raptors could play the scheme that they wanted to play last night because it was literally just DeMar on offense. As we saw last season, this isn't anything new. Teams were doing this last season to do this very DeMar-centric offense, particularly when Zach's out. It forces other guys to do stuff. And credit for the Raptors for putting the Bulls in those situations. Nurse is an extremely good coach. They tried to do something very similar tonight, but when you have another guy like that you can put out there, like Zach LaVine, who can score like he did tonight, 30 points when the ball rotates off DeMar to someone like Zach. It's a very different proposition for a team like the Raptors to guard, as they found out tonight. So a good win by the Bulls, did what they needed to do, cleaned up some of the things that they got wrong yesterday. But having Zach back is a privilege in that sense.
Yeah, it's almost like, your team is better when you've got another star. And I know that's weird. I know it's weird and controversial. But you're almost better when you have another star with you. It's so crazy. But the Bulls overall, before I get into Zach, overall I thought just as a team they played so much better. 52% from the field compared to the 42% from Toronto. What's wild is they shot the same exact amount of three-point shots, and both teams hit the same amount of three-point shots.
Both teams 9 of 28.
Both 9 of 28, and they both shot the same amount of free throws tonight, 22 free throws. We didn't complain as much about the referees tonight as it was yesterday. But the Bulls just did a really good job overall rebounding the basketball. That was another key thing they did well tonight. 57-40 was the rebounding totals for the Chicago Bulls. So, yeah, as a team, and I'm immediately thinking of the Derrick Jones rebound, where he got the offensive rebound and that mean putback. I'm thinking of the Patrick Williams rebound that he snatched and got it with the putback. Vooch was just an absolute monster on the boards tonight. He did a great job. But the full displackery of the attackery of that man Zachary.
Chris Jones in the comments, piggybacking off of Dave, Zachary attackery helped beat the Raptackery's trappery.
Yeah! That is sincere. I enjoyed that very much, sir. But Zach LaVine was amazing tonight. This was the first game, and I don't know how you guys thought about it, but this was the first game I saw some of the old Zach. I didn't see him thinking as much out there. I just saw him actually just reacting, especially when he was going to the paint, Mark. When he was going to the bucket, it just seemed like he was just going. And he had a little more bounce to him. I'm not saying it's all back. He had a little different, though, kind of bounce to him with these layups and with some of these dunks he had and with the way that he was attacking. He wasn't trying that drag step that he's been trying previously in those games. It was, I'm going to the bucket, period. That's what's going to happen. So I liked it because it lets me know that he's starting to not think about his knee as much, and maybe it is feeling better and things like that, and hopefully that trend continues moving up. But the shot was just always water. The shot was just water for Zach LaVine, man. And what was that, 11 of 20?
11 of 20,
55%.
4 of 8 from downtown. So that tells you he was also scoring inside.
Yes, correct.
Which you need to see.
You need to see that, man. So he did a really great job. The 5 turnovers, I mean, it's just what comes with the territory.
I think 3 Bulls had 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
Or no, he had 5, Vooch had 5, Ayo had 3. Pat, yeah. I mean, everybody had turnovers.
Yeah, he did.
Caruso had 3, Dragic had 2.
But his evened out because he had 5 assists with it. So he broke even on it. But, yeah, just overall, Zach was the man. He was the one carrying the Bulls tonight, man, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you like to see it. People in the comments talking about how Zach looks like he has a little bit more lift tonight. Buckness, AK, Justin saying, old new Zach, we are back. It's just nice to see, and he spoke very candidly about it when he's been asked, like, hey, it looks like you are not yourself. Yeah. Hey, have I mentioned it looks like you are not yourself? He's been getting this question on top of the fact that he's been having to take games off to manage this knee. Yeah. And we all need to realize it's going to take some time for him to look like 100% athletic, flying all over the place, Zach.
Right.
But even if he can't finish above the rim the way in which we've grown accustomed to seeing him do, it's nice to see him have a night like tonight where the 3-ball is falling, but he's also looking to get better looks at the rim and finishing at the rim. Also got to the free throw line a little bit. But you know, it goes back to what you were saying, Mark. It's like, yeah, obviously the moral of the story of tonight's game is you got a much better chance of winning when Zach LaVine is on the floor.
Yes.
And they did double him at certain points, just like Nick Nurse said he was going to do pregame, but it was still mostly hounding DeMar and daring the Bulls to beat that.
Yeah.
And Zach was a big part of the reason why tonight they were able to beat that. Also, I don't know what you think, Mark, but I also think that Goran Dragic was absolutely key in tonight's victory. I believe he played a season high in minutes tonight, 25. Dave, you talked about wanting to see more of Dragic on the floor in last night's loss.
Yeah.
But it's just like a vet who is just calm, but at the same time as being calm, Mark, can make just good, smart reads to help the Bulls beat that Raptors trap.
Yeah, definitely. And look, I was kind of fearful of where this game was trending early based on how Io and Pat were playing. And you know, credit to Billy. I know a lot of people in the comments last night were in the, on the comments within the show, sort of talking about Billy and his adjustments or lack thereof and those sorts of things. Well, straight away in this game, within the first 3 minutes, the Bulls came out flat and he made those adjustments. He had that quick hook for Io and Pat. Pat first and then Io. So and in doing so, like brought in Javonte and Dragic, who you mentioned there. So like just having that smarts out there, it's really encouraging. Dragic and Caruso were both plus 18 tonight, so those guys were huge off the bench. Mm-hmm. But and like coming back to my earlier point, like it's just so much harder to guard the Bulls when you have Zach in there. Like you can double DeMar, and then maybe you can even throw a double at Zach, but you can't double them both on the same possession every single time because you just get killed. And the Bulls did a really good job tonight of getting the ball in the middle, getting the ball to the free throw line and finding the open mat, whether it was Vooch at the free throw line. Pat had some nice passes from the free throw line, even Caruso. But coming back to your point, Matt, like Dragic is just a really good and smart player and was really helpful in this instance. But I just keep coming back to it. Like the Raptors defense that they employed in this game was a little bit gimmicky in the sense that you can't do this every single time. And against a team that has enough options, particularly on a team that's had enough time to readjust and think about what they saw literally the night before, we shouldn't be surprised that the Bulls adjusted and found ways to beat this Raptors defense. So credit to the Bulls for doing some homework and getting the W in that sense.
Absolutely. And I mean, you touched on it a little bit, Dave, but can we please give this team some credit for the way they responded on the boards? You guys know me. I'm old school when it comes to what I want to see from my basketball team, and it drives me crazy when the Bulls give their opponent second chance points because they're not doing the work on the glass. They gave the Raptors 23 offensive rebounds last night. Mm-hmm. I think the Raptors were in like the 30s in second chance points. Tonight, you look at the Raptors' total for offensive rebounds, 5. That's it. 5. That is a heck of a lot better. Still some things that weren't cleaned up tonight, like the turnovers. The turnovers are actually even worse tonight, even though that they, generally speaking, fared better against those doubles and traps that they were throwing out there. But for the love of God, thank you. Every time somebody in a Bulls jersey grabbed a big rebound in a big moment in that game, I was just clapping louder than anything I clapped for tonight.
Yeah, and I think Vooch set the tone early. In the first quarter, like he was grabbing every single ball that was coming off that rim, man. He really did set the tone physically too. Like it wasn't, just getting it. No, he was letting them know that he was there. He was imposing his will physically on them. So I like seeing that. And Derek, again, I mentioned Derek Jones Jr. before, but I really like how he played inside tonight. Because we were laughing about it, like, well, Derek Jones Jr. in there grabbing the rebounds. Like, I don't know if Derek Jones and then he said, yes, I can. Yes, I can do this shit too. He did a great job with that. I mean, Dragic even had himself 5 rebounds as well, man. They just really did a great job doing that. And DeRozan getting 6 rebounds. Patrick Williams, another 5+ rebound game for him. I don't know how many that is in a row, but he continually is getting those 7 rebounds a game, Patrick Williams. So he had 6 tonight. So that's always good to see. But they did a great job. And Caruso, again, he had 11 that last game. He had 6 again tonight. So, yeah, man, they did a really, really great job of one and done. And it was just a really great job of that. That's it. You're done. You're finished. Thank you very much. A game kind of mentality out there rebounding. And, again, it started with Vooch for me. Like, he just really did set that tone. I believe he played that whole first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. So he really did set that tone for that team coming in, man, and let them know what they needed to do to win this game. They needed the basketball, and they needed that physical presence, man. He definitely provided it.
At the same time, though, I think we have to tip our hats to the opponent. I think sometimes we get lost into a silo a bit and just think about our own team, about what we did wrong, what we did right, those sorts of things. But we don't also look at what the Raptors or whoever the team or whoever the opponent is. Like, the Raptors are kind of designed to be a really problematic team to go up against defensively, or at least like if you're the offense. Like, this team is just. I mean, I love watching the Raptors because they literally just send out a million guys who are 6'8" and just build like tanks. So for us, like, I get scared watching them, let alone playing against them. So I can't imagine what it is actually like to try to score on these guys. So the fact that the Bulls were able to take away the rebounding, that's important to note. Obviously, we talked about how they adjusted with Zach being in the lineup offensively, which ultimately helped the entire aspect of that. But you can't take everything away, I guess is my point. So whilst the Bulls cleaned up the rebounding, yes, it's annoying that they still forced 21 turnovers or had 21 turnovers, but this Raptors team, like, give them credit. They're good. This is what they're designed to do. They're big, they're long, they're athletic. They're going to get their hands in the lanes. Like, the Bulls probably could have had like 30 turnovers. I counted like at least 5 to 10 passes that were deflected, but somehow the Bulls managed to get their hands back on the ball. So it could have been even worse on the turnovers front. But I guess my point is, at the same time, we need to recognize the Bulls are playing a good team, a team who is designed to, create havoc in the half-court situations. And I thought the Bulls actually did a better job tonight of getting out in transition, which sort of took them away of playing in the half-court, which meant they weren't going to get killed in the half-court. It's very DeMar-centric. So that kind of enabled that. And that's why Javonte and Dragic were really helpful in that first quarter period, where they sort of energized the team again, and then they didn't get necessarily stuck in the half-court.
And it's funny, Mark, because everything you were talking about, as far as giving them the Raptors their flowers, is exactly what we were doing yesterday. Like, giving them their flowers and talking about how good this team is, how much fun they are to watch. And you know me, you know how much I love watching them, man. I talk about it all the time, how much I love watching the Raptors play, because they're so smart and they're so
Unless they're playing against our Bulls, and then you hate it.
Then I can't stand to watch it, but it's still fun to watch because I talked about it yesterday, because I'm like, they're so well coached and they always make the right pass and they always do the right thing. And you see it every time they play. You know what I mean? Like, everything you said, Mark, is everything I was echoing yesterday, and I still feel that same way today watching them play. It just didn't work out for them as well, because they had a lot of turnovers, and credit the Bulls with some of that defense for sure. But they had a lot of turnovers as well, and a lot of those shots didn't fall. I didn't think Scotty Barnes played well in either game.
Right.
But I love watching them play. They're just all arms and elbows, and everybody's tall and lanky, and everybody can switch, and everybody can run. You know what I mean? It's just a fun team to watch. It really is, man. I really enjoy watching them.
One of 5
go ahead,
teams
Mark.
in the East that have a winning record. Like, and again, getting some perspective. Like, I know the Bulls at 6-6 right now, and maybe they could be a little bit better. I think they should at least be 8-4. But at the same time, if we take a step back, there's only 5 teams in the East at the moment who have a winning record. One of those teams being the Raptors, who we just played. So the East right now is tough. There's maybe some teams overperforming, there's some teams underperforming. Maybe the Bulls could have a few extra wins. But at the same time, I think we sort of, like, again, acknowledging the opposition. Like, the East is tough. We knew this coming into the season that the Bulls would be around a 500 team. I think we all sort of suggested as much. But I think Matt and you and Will were like 42 wins, something like that. Me and Dave were at 44. So like this isn't far from what we were expecting. Particularly, I actually think the Bulls have been really good considering their lineup changes and rotations have been changing every single game. It feels like still no Drummond, still no Kobe. Obviously, Zach's been in and out. No Lonzo. So for the team to actually be 6-6 against a really competitive Eastern Conference, which, like I said, only 5 teams have a winning record,
right?
I'm kind of comfortable where things are at right now. I know some people maybe don't feel the same, but I think the Bulls have been pretty good through 12 games at least.
And not to mention the fact that not only has the schedule as far as opponents been challenging, but this was the 12th game tonight already. Lots of most teams in the NBA have played fewer than 12. Some significantly fewer than 12. And the Bulls they started with back-to-backs the first weekend of the season, Friday, Saturday. They had another Friday, Saturday back-to-back the following week. This past weekend, that was Friday, off Saturday, played Sunday, but Sunday, Monday was a back-to-back. Tonight's game was the end of a stretch where they played 5 games in 7 nights. So, 6-6 isn't ideal, and I agree with you, Mark. You could be looking at a team with maybe what should be 7 or 8 wins if they don't let some of those losses slip away. But I will take 6-6 right now, given what's been thrown at them so far this season between the schedule and the guys who have been out. Real quick though, before we take a break, I just wanted to go back and reiterate what you were saying, Mark. When it comes to DeMar willingly kind of acknowledging, hey, tonight with this team, this Raptors defense, it's not me. It's not a slow, crawling half-court offense that's methodically me getting to my spots. And the Bulls picked up the pace a little bit, and that's all you need to beat a trap defense like this. Like you said, it's gimmicky. It's not impossible to beat. It's actually fairly competent if you just have guys who can pass their way out of it and then make the right reads. What was one of the other things I was complaining about in pregame, Dave, about last night's performance is they got absolutely slaughtered points in the paint. 62-38. Tonight, it was a narrow margin, but the Bulls won points in the paint. How do they win points in the paint? Not by a slow, plodding half-court offense. No, by getting good looks because guys are moving off the ball trying to beat a trap-heavy defensive scheme.
Yes, and it was fun to see. And you just were worried about that coming in because, like you said, it was like, what the hell? Like, how can't you break this? You dealt with this last year. We know how to break this. We learned later in that year last year how to break it. And you saw them do it. And I like the fact that they did it in 2 ways. Or actually, early on, they did it in 2 ways. One was basically getting it to Vooch, you know what I'm saying, and letting him facilitate like that. But I love when they put Patrick Williams in the mini Vooch role, and they were doing it with him as well. And he was at top of the key, and he was finding the open ball handlers.
Did you see that one swing pass from Pat in particular, Mark? I'm sure you made note of it.
to the into the corner for the IO3. Is that the one you're referencing? Yeah, I made a mental note about that. But Vooch and Pat from a passing point of view was really good. But I think another thing that, and to piggyback what you're saying here, Dave, I think like the other guys like Caruso, Io, even Javonte and Derrick Jones Jr. Like yesterday against the Raptors, they were sort of catching the ball, waiting a split second to analyze what was happening with what the defense was giving them, and then making their move. Whereas tonight, again, not a surprise given that the team sort of got to see what the Raptors were doing yesterday, got to think about it, got to adjust. But they were much more quicker in their response to the defense. As soon as DeMar got trapped, the ball went to the middle. As soon as the ball went to the middle, those guys were ready to catch the ball. And as soon as they got the ball, they're either shooting, dribbling, or passing. They're making a quick affirmative read in that sense. Whereas yesterday it was a bit slower. So like there was plays even tonight from Javonte where he was the open guy catching on the wing and he was putting the ball on the deck and he was driving and creating with his own pass. I think he had 2 or 3 assists tonight, if I'm not mistaken. And he had an amazing assist, I think, into that same corner that I shot a 3 for Zach. He had assisted Zach on that 3-point make. So like everyone around them kind of figured out, maybe not necessarily in real time yesterday, but after yesterday, they figured out how to beat this defense. And like I said, it is gimmicky. It is very easy to beat. It's maybe a shock to the system initially, and we saw that last night. The Bulls didn't really cope with it yesterday, but they figured it out. So, credit to them. And
it also unleashes and unlocks the thing I love the most, which is the catch and shoot Zach. Mm-hmm. When you're running that and you unleash that part of his game, which I think is probably his most deadly part of his game is when he catching and shooting the basketball. When you can unlock that as well, watch out.
Indeed. All right, we got to take our first break here. Plenty more of thoughts from tonight's win over the Raptors and more of your comments as well. Keep them coming. Throw us some super chats if you feel like it. Awesome. And while we're reading some ads, do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. 200 plus hanging out on YouTube tonight. Thank every single one of you for being here. Let's get that number next to that thumb.
Hey, Toronto.
200. Real quick, I did mention during pregame that everybody should be having tons of fun on DraftKings tonight.
They should.
Because the NBA has 15 games going on.
It has exploded.
We discussed the solid game we saw from him tonight. He is officially your DraftKings king of the night. It is Zachary. Dave, how does that go?
Zachary Attackery. And tonight, it was on full displackery.
Full displackery. DraftKings king of the game, Zach LaVine. 30 points, 4 of 7 from downtown. 11 of 20 from the field, 5 dimes.
Yes.
My goodness.
Crown looks nice on you, bro.
It was. And saw this from Casey Johnson via Bulls PR real quick. 32nd time LaVine has posted 30 and 5 dimes in the same game for the Bulls. Third all time in Bulls franchise history behind our guy D-Rose, who did it 40 times.
That's a lot.
And MJ... Mark, care to venture a guess? I already had Dave guess. How many times did MJ put up 30 and 5 assists?
Is it like 300 and something or 200 and something? I saw Casey's tweet earlier. 303.
It's 303. Michael Jordan did it 303 times.
Ghost.
It's so ridiculous.
Craziness. But yeah, all y'all keep having fun. There's still some live bet action you can do right now on these late West Coast NBA games.
Right now.
So head on over to DraftKings. You know what goes great with putting some bets in, some parlays in?
What does that go, Matt?
Delicious sausages.
Oh.
Shout out to Greenridge Farm, who brought all of the necessary foods to our CHGO Bears tailgate yesterday.
Joey, did you enjoy the Greenwich Farm sausages?
Loved
Loved
as
them.
always.
Loved.
Everyone loves Greenridge Farm sausages. Greenridge Farm, Chicago local meat and cheese company, offering a better all-natural option at snack time. Makers of all-natural deli meat sausages and their famous meat sticks.
Meat snicks.
Yeah. It's meat you eat while you're watching Snick. Perfect for tailgating, happy hour, school lunches. With 16 grams of protein packed into every meat stick, it makes a perfect post-workout snack, too. Right there with your athletic greens, Mark.
Pow.
These all-natural meat sticks are hardwood smoked for 8 hours. If you haven't tried them yet, seriously, y'all, you're missing out. And right now, when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, those meat sticks will be free simply by using promo code CHGO at checkout.
Amazing.
And for all of you local people tuning in, Bulls fans that live in the city, in the burbs, you can also find Greenridge Farm products at Costco, at Sam's Club, or in your local Chicagoland grocery stores. One more time, that's promo code CHGO for some free meat sticks. At checkout, greenridgefarm.com.
Oh, I like that. You know how Zach got his, 32, 30 and 5? You know why? Because he probably had his 75. High-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole foods, or superfoods, probiotics, and sweet Lord in heaven all the way down to Australia where Marquet is. The adaptogens. Oh, they all help you start your day correctly. That's right. It's Athletic Greens, y'all. That special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and your aging. All the things that your body needs. It costs less than $3 a day. It's cheaper than getting all the supplements yourself. You're investing in the all-in-one nutritional insurance. Vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals or artificial anything.
Anything?
Anything. And it does all this while still tasting amazing. You know what I'd like to do, what I've started doing with Athletic Greens?
What's that?
I put it in my smoothie now.
Ooh.
So I add that to the smoothie as well, blend that up, shoot it, kaboot it, and feeling good.
This man is a genius, people.
You can do anything with it, y'all. You can do it with the Athletic Greens.
Stealing that.
Yeah, go ahead. Please take that. More fruits in your body. Yes. Do this all day long. And to make it easy, y'all, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of that immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/CHGO. CHGO Bulls. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/CHGO Bulls to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance, because it's Athletic Greens. You scoop it, you dump it, you shake it, you drink it. Matt Peck?
You feel it.
Whoa. Whoa. All right. Got a little goosebumps there. Well, all right. I felt that. Wow. All right.
Maybe the thing I'm most proud of in my life. That I was able of giving this unshakable man goosebumps. People in the comments pointing out Michael Jordan, pretty good at basketball.
Not bad. From what I've heard, Mark, you heard this rumor? Michael Jordan being good at basketball?
He could play. He was good.
He was solid guy. Yeah,
he wasn't bad.
Pretty good. Mark, I forgot to ask you, man. What were you eating? What were you eating on, man?
Wow. I mean, when you were reading that Green Range Farms ad, I don't know if you know this yet, Matthew, but I've actually gone vegetarian. So just before we were coming on.
Joey, where is my hat rack?
Yes!
The Bulls won tonight. I didn't think we needed it.
Didn't think I was going to need my hat bucket on a Bulls victory.
That's one for our side. Woo!
I don't know if you guys can see it, but I was eating a chickpea edamame and what else is in here? Quinoa salad.
Oh!
It's good.
Talk that talk.
Someone before was asking in the comments, am I chewing on tobacco? No, I've actually got some quinoa stuck in between my teeth. That's why I've been trying to get it out. But, yeah.
Where is the hat bucket, Joey? No hat bucket tonight? Didn't have it happening?
Well, I didn't think we needed one because the Bulls won. I didn't know that.
It was a fair assumption that he didn't think we would need a hat bucket because I was in a good mood. Bulls won.
But come on.
Mark
Sorry, man.
admitting his vegetarianism. Good mood ruined.
Oh.
I'm mostly, you know what? It's fine. I'm over it. I just feel bad for you, buddy.
I feel great for you, man.
Missing out on the best parts of life.
Be worried about.
That's right. More for you, Matt.
I promise that I will keep this between us and not tell our friends at Green Ridge Farm that you went vegetarian. I got enough dealing with this guy over here every freaking day.
Yeah, every day.
Bugner saying Matt eats enough meat to make up for the rest of the squad going full vegetarian.
This is true.
There's a chance that you're accurate.
This is true.
Real quick, guys, before we continue analyzing tonight's game, I did want to make note of this. I saw some people talking about it in the comments. There was another Bulls legend, not MJ, but a different one, who was at the game tonight.
He was.
Joey, do you have that picture that I threw in our Bull Slack that you could pull up? By the way, shout out to our guy Ricky O'Donnell of SB Nation, Bulls coverage legend, for this great caption. So he saw this on Joakim's Instagram and screenshotted it and put it up on his Twitter feed with the caption, Dream Blunt Rotation.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, I'm not a big blunt smoker.
Yeah.
But boy, if I had an opportunity to burn one down with Kukoc, the waiter, and Joakim, I am there.
I think whatever they were rolling up, you would be down. I think you'd be in.
Right.
Just because it's Joakim Noah and Tony.
They could roll up some like stale cockroach carcasses into some into some blunt wraps.
All right.
And if it was Joakim and Tony and they were like, "Hey, smoke this, man," I'd be like, "Yes, sir." And yes, sir. Who got the lighter?
Guys, you know what? Just quit. Sorry, just can't do that.
But
I don't eat meat. Can't smoke it either.
Joakim at the Miami game, game 1.
Yeah.
At the game tonight.
Yeah.
Joakim has to go to all the games. When
2-0.
Joakim goes, Bulls win.
2-0.
Simple.
Joakim is 2-0. All right. That's a pretty good record. Let's keep that going, man. Let's keep it going. I like it, Matt.
Speaking of keeping it going, Mark, what did you take away from Pat's night tonight? Just 25 minutes. You talked about how, he got the quick hook from Billy, 3 minutes in, not even 3 minutes into that first quarter.
Yeah.
I think he responded well after that and had a good stretch later in the first half.
Yeah.
But kind of just another up and down game from Pat. Some good, some bad. What did you make of it?
Yeah, look, I actually thought he was fine. I was actually concerned, to be honest with you. Like when he got that quick hook, I made a note of that in the first quarter. I was like, all right, cool. Now let's see how you respond. Because again, Pat from earlier in the season, Pat from last season, probably goes in his shell, probably chills in the corner, probably does nothing, to be honest with you. but we didn't get that tonight. Like Pat came back out, did some things. He was still getting involved as a roll man in pick and roll. Still getting on the glass, as you mentioned, Dave. 6 rebounds, 3 of them being offensive. So 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. We talked about the passing before. He got into that position at the free throw line and was acting as that facilitator like Vooch, consistently does. Pat was finding himself in that role as well. So he was putting himself in situations where he was impacting the game. So again, like very similar to last night, where Pat got stuffed in that first quarter by what's his name? Coloco. He got absolutely destroyed by those block shots. But he kept coming. He kept trying to dunk. He kept trying to drive. I like that. And same thing tonight. Like, he didn't necessarily have it in that first stint. Could have gone into his shell. Could have easily gone back into that Bogans role if for whatever reason Billy thought that was necessary. But he kept playing him because Pat was doing stuff. So not his best night. Up and down, sure. Still did some stuff. Still found ways to impact the game. And again, good signs for the Bulls and Pat more generally, because he's finding ways to impact things. He's still staying at it, and despite getting blocked like yesterday, or getting blocked in this instance by Billy in terms of his minutes in that first stint, like he just kept coming after it. So I actually thought it was a good game from that perspective. Actually, a positive from Pat in that regard.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I thought he played really solidly. I mean, the best compliment I could give him is I'm forgetting that he's out there sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, because he's just doing what he's supposed to do. Like, I'm not keying in on him like I always was. You know what I'm saying? Just let me see what's he doing. What's he doing? No, go over here. This. No, he's just doing exactly what I want an NBA player to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where I have him judged right now. Because, like I said, I'm judging him a little bit differently than everybody else might be. But yeah, but I agree with everything that Mark said. Like, I thought he did a great job against Scotty Barnes these past 2 games as well. Scotty Barnes didn't have 2 good games. I mean, what did he have tonight? 5 points, I believe. I think he had 5 points, like 6 rebounds and 5 assists in 30 minutes. I thought Patrick Williams, as soon as Scotty Barnes was bringing the ball up the floor, Patrick Williams was right there in his face trying to guard him. Obviously, they know each other. You know what I'm saying? They want to play against each other, and that brings it out of you too. And I like that, but it's just the fact that Pat was up for the challenge of it and was in his face letting them know, like, yo, I'm here. This is what it's going to be all game long. I will tell you one thing that concerns me going forward is the way he's being called by the referees concerns me. He's getting into foul trouble early and often now in these next few games, and it seems like he's averaging about 4 or 5 fouls.
Had 4 more tonight. Okay,
see, yeah, it feels like he's averaging that, and it's like he's starting to get those kind of calls from referees where he's not getting the benefit of anything. They're looking at him. They're like, "Oh, Patrick Williams, boom, we got to call this foul." Like, it feels like he's getting that kind of reputation among referees, and that's not good. You know what I mean? That's not a good thing for a guy who's trying to play the aggressive style of defense that we want him to play, and the guy we want to be that rebounder. So I'm keeping an eye on that. That's just something I'm looking at as the season goes along, how he's being called by the refs. But yeah, overall, he had a couple plays where he got the ball and everything was kind of out of whack, and he just said, well, I'm taking it. You know what I mean? I'm going. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to shoot this jumper regardless. I don't care about the analytics of it by stepping from the three-point line just a little bit just to take this jump shot.
Yeah.
I just know this is what's comfortable for me.
He was 0 of 2 behind the three-point line tonight, but both threes he took, it looked like he took them confidently and comfortably within the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
Open shot, take the open shot, and I think that's mostly what we've been wanting to see from Pat.
Yeah, like if it's open, see shot, shoot. You know, like it's just simple mathematics, Mark. Like you just wanted him to do those things, and then you could be like, okay, now let's work on. It's like when a kid's working on math early on. Yeah. You're like, okay, let's learn how to add. Let's learn how to subtract. Oh, you got that down? Okay, here's some times tables. Here's some long division. Here's some fraction. You work your way up to geometry and trigonometry and all those other things after that. So that's where you're kind of at with Pat, man. Like I'm like, yeah, okay, addition, subtraction, I got it down now. What's 12 times 12? You know what I'm saying? Let's deal with that aspect
144
of the game. Very good, Matthew. I'm proud of you. But yeah, that's what we're asking. At least that's what I'm asking of Pat right now. But overall, yeah, very solid game, I thought.
Definitely. And you made a really good point, Dave. Like earlier in the season, one of the things that I was tracking and like focusing on, I almost wasn't watching the game. I was just watching Pat, and I was just watching, all right, on this possession, what are you doing? All right, you're just standing there. Okay, cool. Note down that play. Let's see what you do on the next offensive possession. Same thing. You're just chilling. But as the games have gone on over the last 4 to 5 games, like I haven't had to do that. I haven't need to think about that because one, he's not staying still in the corner. He's getting involved in pick and roll. If he's not in pick and roll, he's still moving and cutting. Like we saw Io and Pat connect on a really good dunk tonight, that alley-oop play. Pat could have easily just chilled in the corner there like he's done previously, but he saw DeMar get doubled. Io made the right read, brought it in from the three-point line, and Pat made the right cut. So like he's just doing those small things where I'm not even thinking about him chilling anymore because he's not. I'm like, this is kind of all I wanted to see. Get on the glass, play hard, play good defense, and just find ways to impact on the offense. Even if you're not the one creating with the ball in hand, you can still be part of the action, as Javonte and Derrick Jones Jr., Caruso, whoever it may be, has consistently proven that there are spaces for those type of plays, for those role guys to do things with the offense. And slowly but surely, Pat is getting more comfortable doing that. And that's positive. But like I said before, the fact that he's actually been, there's been some adversity against the Raptors the last couple of games, and he's come back with that. Not necessarily come back and put up a 30-piece like Zach did, but at least came back and shown that I could play a role. Like that is encouraging. So I can't complain, even though I know a lot of people like to brand me as the Pat hater. He's been reasonable and solid these last 4 or 5 games to the point where I can sit back and shut up and just say, yeah, you're doing what I want, which is nice.
Yeah, no, but I did make note of it in your Twitter feed, Mark, that you're now apparently the official Pat apologist of Bulls Nation, which is interesting that you are that and also somehow the biggest Pat hater in Bulls Nation.
It's impressive.
Well, I mean, whenever you get a Bears fan talking to you about basketball, they're generally going to say some silly things. So, apparently, according to Bears fans who happen to be Bulls fans, I am a Pat apologist. No. According to some Bulls fans, I'm a Pat hater. But maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Well, if you've witnessed what our buddy Braggs is doing on a basic Bears Sunday. Woo. But you know what? Who am I to talk? I am a meathead Bears fan / diehard Bulls fan. I was losing my mind watching Justin Fields yesterday.
It was the first thing you said to me when you walked in.
It is.
it was Justin
Fields. Dave.
Yeah.
I didn't say Dave, hello.
Right, no.
I gave Dave a hug. I said Dave.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Exactly how I did it, yeah.
Good comment here as we wrap up our Pat talk from Scott, who said, Pat making plays where you see him use his size is a nice change of pace.
Oh, great
that
point.
One rebound, the lob finish he had that you just brought up there, Mark. Yeah. It's really Pat starting to throw that size around this year, which is, again, something that seems like a simple ask, but maybe something that we need to pull and coax out of Pat a little bit more. Like, dude, you're big.
You had to learn.
There are certain guys on an NBA floor who you can and should dominate physically.
Ferdinand the Bull, man. That's really what it is. And on those alley-oops, he should have one of those alley-oops a game, honestly. Yeah. He should have at least one of those a game, man. That's one play that should
when
be
it
there.
Was Pat making a baseline cut because I just saw Io make the pass and I saw some flash coming and a dunk, and then I saw 44 and I was like, oh my God, that was Pat. It shouldn't shock me to see Io and Pat successfully complete an alley-oop lob pass.
Agreed.
But it was shocking.
It was shocking, yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that, but it's going to get to a point where it's just normal, and that's what I'm waiting for, Mark. Like, I'm just like, yeah, it's a normal game for Pat to be this good. You know what I'm saying? To be this dominant out there and cleaning up the glass and, and doing those and being physical with the opponent, you know what I mean? Snatching those key rebounds. He had a great rebound, man. Like, I'm just talking about a defense, not the offensive one, but he had some great Pat defensive rebounds where he reminds you how athletic he is, and I love when he does that. And he's starting to do that more because it's like he was holding that back in the reserves or something. It was like, oh, no, I can do this every game? Yeah, you can. It's okay. It's all right. Do it every single game, man. So, yeah, he's just getting better every game, and it's just good to see. It's just good to see.
It's like you just realized what the power in power forward actually means. Like, dude, you are this absolute massive unit. If I would have killed to be how massive you were at 21. Why do I have to be the one telling you, go and kill people? You're huge, you're massive. You just go and flog people. Like it's frustrating in that sense that he's always the last to realize how good he is, how strong he is, all these things he can do. But I guess if he slowly gets there to the point where he
slowly
realizes,
getting there.
well, actually I am 6'7", 6'8", I'm 230, I'm built like an absolute brick house.
Right.
I can truck all of you guys. Like if he's slowly going to get to that point where it just becomes normal, then cool. If it's something that he needs to be reminded about, then that's problematic. But hopefully it's not, because it's over the last 4 or 5 games, it's been more innate in that sense. So maybe he is learning that he's an absolute, built like a brick shit house, and hopefully that's just the norm going forward.
Yeah.
Do you want to give out Goon of the Night before we say farewell to Mark?
Mark should stay around for
I
this.
feel like Mark
He's never
needs to be around for Goon of the Night. We usually do it in our last segment when Will's here.
He should be around there. Joe, you got my Goon of the Night graphic, sir. Can I get that, please? Get my Goon of the Night. So, Matt, I'll start with you, sir. Who do you feel? I'm going to wait for Joey to give me that. There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, it feels good. All right, Matt.
Just a menacing man holding a baseball
That's
bat.
it. Who is your Goon of the Night, Matthew?
It has to be Tony Bradley, right? Got in there in garbage time. I think he played about 35 seconds.
13 seconds.
And you know what? Tony Bradley grabbed me a board. Tony Bradley, Goon of the Night. There you go, Tony. Way to make the most of that 35 seconds of junk time.
Oh, my God.
That's my dude.
My God. Marquez.
That is, for the record, that is not my dude.
Who you got, Mark? Who you got, man?
Oh, man, I would say Javonte, but I would probably say Javonte every single time. So I don't know if that's necessarily fair answer. But I just thought of, like, I guess, like, again, I'm interpreting Goon of the Night to be my own thing. Like, the way I'm interpreting Goon of the Night is maybe very different to the way you interpret it, Dave. But
okay.
I just like what Javonte did on the glass. I like the way he consistently just hits the glass, consistently playing like a maniac. That to me is typical Goon behavior. So I would have picked Javonte, but I'm not sure if you've gone a different direction.
I have. I like both of those picks. Well, I like one of those picks, Mark K. But my Goon of the Night is going to somebody who I honestly didn't think I'd ever give this to. And it feels good that I'm going to give this to him. My Goon of the Night is Ayo Dosunmu.
Wow.
And the reason it's Ayo Dosunmu is because you saw him getting in the jersey of Fred VanVleet this game, and those guys were jawing at each other and going at it. And Ayo was not backing down at all. He was more like, bring it on. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. There was something going on there between them two guys. There was some jawing and things happening. Usually don't see that from Ayo.
He even contested a after the whistle, just casual toss towards the hoop.
He sure did.
Because he was that level of pissed off.
He was like, nope, you ain't getting that either. And then after, it was one play where he went to the bucket and scored on a layup and immediately got in the chest of VanVleet before the ball was even inbounded. And those guys started jawing and talking and things like that. And I was like, oh, I enjoyed seeing that so much. I was proud of Ayo to do that, man. That city of the shy came out of him tonight, baby. And I loved it. And it was really awesome. So for me, Goon of the Night, Ayo Dosunmu. I loved it.
Good pick.
That's a really good one.
And, we haven't really talked about Ayo, but shouts to Ayo. So after that benching early in that first quarter, he came out and played really well. And maybe that was part of it. Maybe he wanted to show Billy something then in that instance. That, I wasn't playing good in my first stint, but I'm going to come out and I'm going to hustle my ass off. And he did that. He had a really productive game in that sense. So, yeah, good pick, Dave.
That's a great point. That's a great point, Mark K. Because you're right. Like, Ayo isn't the guy like Pat where it might take him a few games after you bench him to do something like that. No, he's immediate. Yeah, he's immediate in that. Like, oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, bet. You want me to do what, coach? All right, fine. Punching him in the chest. As soon as I get out there, this is what's gonna happen. Yeah. No, he did a great job, and I just love the fearlessness he plays with. Anytime, even if it's a big shot, you know what I'm saying, with something on the line. Ayo, he does not mind taking it, man. And yeah, he was great to watch. 12 points, 4 rebounds, couple of assists. Shot 7 threes, which lets you know he hit 2 of them. But it's just the fact that he took 7. Like, yep, I'm shooting these. This is what's going to happen. And yeah, I like that kind of thing about Ayo, man. So yeah, he was gooned up for me.
Love it. Mark, thank you so much for joining us on Postgame, man. Appreciate it as always. Make sure you're following Mark on Twitter if you aren't already. Bulls Nation at MK Hoops. Don't hold it against him that he went vegetarian.
Quinoa.
Enjoy the rest of your dinner, lunch probably.
Look at it, Matt.
Yeah, no, I don't need to look at that. I might still want a little late night dinner, and I don't want that spoiling my appetite. Everybody, say thank you and farewell to our guy, Mark. Mark, we'll talk to you next time, buddy.
Peace out, bro.
Appreciate you.
See you guys.
Yes, sir.
All righty. A little bit of time left. Hopefully, we'll get a call from our guy, Will the Goat, in just a minute. While we're waiting for Will, we have some more sponsors to thank,
That's what we got.
including one of our newest sponsors here at CHGO.
would that
It's ComEd, people.
Lighting.
Those friendly people who bring you your energy and lighting. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across their territory. Customers can inquire about all different kinds of things, how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money savings efficient LED lights, learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device, and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor, outdoor lighting and networked lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than before. So here's what you do. Right now, you should visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz, B-I-Z, right now to start saving money and energy. To start a project, you can contact them at 1-855-433-2700. That's 1-855-433-2700. For more information, email them businessee@comed.com or publicsectoree@comed.com. And one more time, ComEd.com/poweringbiz.
Power.
Save money and energy.
Save it.
Two things that you should always be trying to save.
Always be trying to save that, man.
Energy, money.
Energy and money. It's funny you bring up those two things
Why is that?
because the sun is energy. All right.
Yes, it is.
But there's
Biggest source of energy in our solar system.
ever out there. And there's a company that could not understand why it was so expensive to protect your wonderful eyes from that energy source. Why does it cost so much? They didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Matt didn't get it. Joey didn't get it. Nobody got it. But you know who said that? Shady Rays. The Rays are shady. And they said, we sick of this. We're going to make something inexpensive and it's still going to be absolutely awesome. I just broke them. Hey, Shady Rays, the premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, sustainable durability, and styles cater to everyone to fit every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear, the matte pack, lost and broken replacements. That means if you break those glasses because you have I'm angered, toss. A lot of that.
It me. Got him.
If that is you, this program is for you, y'all. Because if you break them, no problem. They got you. Brand new pair, they will send it right to you. No questions asked, y'all. They got you covered. Shady Rays customers seem to agree with how awesome they are. Let me think about how much. 200,000 5-star reviews, y'all. Isn't this a wonderful thing? And also, Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. That is just amazing and awesome. So here's a nice offer for y'all also. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use that code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. That's a buy one, get one free. What they call that, Matt Peck?
BOGO.
That is a BOGO for the low, a 54 for show, yo. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all the newest and best shades. The shades, the rays, because the rays are shady. I like Joey just laughing over here while he's doing 30 things.
Tay. That's one of my favorite line in any ad read these days.
In response to our guy Mark showing off his lunch in the camera, Sergio in the comments said, "Why is he eating maggots?" Thank you, Sergio. I thought it looked like very maggoty as well. Oh,
there it is.
Y'all know what that sound means.
You know what it is.
It's time for the Quaff Goat. Checking in from the UC.
Swoop.
Will, first things first, you are at the UC working this game tonight. Hello, hi. You look beautiful as always. You were also in the same building as Joakim Noah tonight. Does that make you feel all kinds of warm and fuzzy inside?
It made me feel all types of warm and fuzzy inside. I wanted to allow you to live vicariously through me, so I really tried to savor the moment for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Another night, lots more double teams, lots more Nick Nurse defense.
Lots of double teams.
The Bulls did still struggle with some sort of unforced and ugly turnovers tonight. Thankfully, I think the majority of them came late in the game when they kind of had that cushion that they could get away with some of those. Earlier on in the game, I think they did a much better job than they did last night, as we were discussing before you joined us, passing out of those double teams and just keeping the ball moving and keeping guys moving off the ball to allow them to pass out of those doubles and traps from DeMar. Any specific comments from Billy Donovan after tonight's game about how they maybe adjusted to that better tonight than they did yesterday?
So the thing that really stood out to me was, DeMar had 9 points. I think he had like 6 shots.
Yeah.
And you don't really think about a guy who put up those numbers as being like the center of everything. And Billy, I want to read you guys this quote because it was awesome. He basically just came out and said, like, you guys don't understand how this was just like the epitome of DeMar DeRozan and his desire to win games. So let me read you this quote. I thought DeMar, when he got trapped, was unbelievable. Here's a guy that's a 30-point scorer in this league, and to me, it was a perfect indication of what he's all about, and it's winning. Here's what the game dictates, here's what I have to do, and this is how I have to help my teammates. And I've always said, great players make people around them better, and he made everyone around him better tonight. Just his level of sacrifice in terms of not forcing anything, didn't even care about shooting. We put the ball in his hands in the middle of the floor. We knew they were going to trap him. We spread him out and just let him make plays, and our guys did a good job from there. So I thought that was really important praise for DeMar, who, like I said, only scored 9 points, but he was the engine that made this whole thing work. And what I loved about this performance from the team in general was it really felt like they made the right adjustments. They kind of figured out what the Raptors were doing and how to beat it. And I mean, that's as much as you can ask for against any good team in the NBA, is force them to, like, you either, they beat you and you have to make adjustments, or you put the pressure on them. And I thought they did a really good job of taking advantage of all the weaknesses in a defense that, they're going all out like that. They're going to have weaknesses. They're going to have weak spots, and the Bulls just took advantage. I thought that was a really well coached game. I thought DeMar played and facilitated really well. And obviously Zach, 30 points. He looked fantastic.
Absolutely. Will, if DeMar was the engine, then Zach was definitely the wheels that was keeping this thing on the road and going. Had a 30-point night. I thought that he looked more like himself than I've seen him in any game. Like, it just seemed like he wasn't thinking out there. He was more so reacting and going strong to the bucket and not doing that drag step, like just actually going strong. What did you take away from Zach's game tonight?
Yeah, really probably his best game. I thought he attacked the basket, as you said, without fear. He did have one sort of flat tire where he just kind of missed a layup, but he was like seeking out contact in a way that he hasn't done since last year. And one of the things that Billy and Zach both mentioned was just like the pressure that DeMar was getting allowed Zach to attack closeouts and play, against a shifting defense and attack a team that had, fewer numbers on the back line. So I thought Zach really benefited. And then, he just showed you what he can do as a shooter and a catch and shoot guy, where he had 4 of 8 threes. And just, that's exactly why you pay a guy like that to be your, 1B scoring option, because he will be able to take advantage. And for him to, obviously, he's not, they had that fast break and Io threw him a lob, and it wasn't the best pass in the world, but like, you're kind of accustomed to Zach going up and catching that and throwing it down. But he didn't have that. And so to be able to score 30, to be able to put pressure on the rim anyway, that was a huge step in the right direction for Zach, who, we've been a little bit worried about. And, the Bulls have a stretch here without any more back-to-backs, I think, for over a month until December 10th and 11th. So we should, this should be a good opportunity for Zach to really build up his endurance, hopefully get his knee in the right shape, and just like get back into full basketball form.
It's a great point.
Any mention or question did anybody ask Billy? I know Bulls fans were excited to see Dalen get his first real run of the season yesterday. Still no Kobe and still no Drummond today, so still shorthanded as far as the rotation. But you saw more minutes from Dragic. You saw a bunch of bench minutes from Caruso, as you would expect. No Dalen tonight. And any thoughts on that from you, or was it talked about postgame?
Not talked about postgame, but I think to me it was just like Zach returning to the lineup. I mean, they were really shorthanded last game, and I thought Dalen defended really well last night, as we talked about. I thought he, had probably his best performance, definitely his best performance. So I like what we saw from him, but I think that was like a break in case of emergency type of situation where you're missing Drummond, you're missing Kobe, you're missing Lonzo, you're missing Zach. You got to find somebody to eat some minutes, and with Zach back tonight, it just wasn't necessary. So, but it's a good sign for Dylan to start cutting into like rotation minutes, right? Like you're not just seeing him at the end of blowout games. For him to get in and play some meaningful minutes against a team that's like really putting pressure on you, I thought that was a really, really positive step for Dalen.
Will, my goon of the night was Ayo Dosunmu. I just liked how he really played on VanVleet this evening. It seemed like those guys were going at it. I'm only asking since you were there. Did you notice that up close? Did you see anything like that while you were watching the game from them two?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this last night. The way that Ayo stays locked to the ball handler's hip going over screens is really impressive. I thought, he did as good a job as you can do against VanVleet, who I still think scored like 25 or more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that guy is so shifty. He's so quick. His step back is so clean. The release is low and quick, but, like, he gets it off from any distance. And then he's really good at attacking the basket and finishing these sort of circus shot layups. So he is just a handful. And, Ayo has the length on him. But I thought he did a really good job moving his feet and just containing and keeping him in front. The Bulls were doing a little bit more switching tonight than they typically do. You saw Vooch get switched onto VanVleet there in the fourth quarter on like 2 or 3 straight possessions. Obviously not ideal, but I thought, the Raptors were obviously seeking that out because of the job that Ayo was doing on him. So, Ayo was a great defensive player. I think he is like one of the better on-ball point of attack defenders that the Bulls have, and just in general in the NBA. He's really, really solid at that. And it's like another step for him is just becoming that lockdown point of attack guy that Caruso is, that Lonzo is, and that'll sort of elevate his game another level.
Will, we appreciate you popping into postgame briefly to offer us your thoughts. You're going to be joining us on our pod for our off day show tomorrow, yes?
Yes, sir.
We will talk to you then. Everybody, make sure you're following Will on the Twitter machine. Will_Gottlieb. Hashtag bring back won't Gottlieb. And make sure you're reading his thoughts from tonight's Bulls victory over the Raptors. Check it out on our website, allchgo.com. Will, have a lovely night. Get home safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
See you, be good.
Peace.
Oh, that's my guy.
Nice.
Will Gottlieb, ladies and gents.
Let me go to is his name Gio? I think it's
Gio. He's one of the regulars. What's up, Gio?
He says, "Is that beer Dave is drinking?" It is not, my friend. This, sir, is liquid death. In other words, water.
Water. One of our new sponsors here.
Yes,
CHGO.
one of our new sponsors here, right here, man.
Delicious water.
Delicious water. I highly recommend some liquid death. As Joey says, I drink them at an alarming rate.
I know. I wish Will was still here, so I could have thrown that to him. That's his favorite line.
But I put down 3 tonight. You proud of me?
3 of them begrudgingly.
No, well, actually, they were enjoyable. I just, it's weird. It was weird for me to crack an aluminum can.
Yes.
It did not have alcohol in it.
Yes, okay. That's fair.
It's very unsettling to me, like right out of the gate.
That's very fair.
But then my brain figured it out, and I was like, oh, this is just very delicious, refreshing water.
Yeah, when you pick it up and you hold it and your brain hurt, it was like, oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
We're getting it started on a Monday. Let's go.
True, yeah.
Wait, what the hell is this?
What is happening here?
So yeah, high quality H2O. Okay, you're absolutely right. I highly recommend Liquid Death, though, guys.
Indeedy. This man
awesome
loves
stuff.
being hydrated.
This is
all
awesome,
the time.
Awesome stuff.
Murder your thirst.
Murder your thirst. Damn it.
Such an aggressively awesome tagline.
Hey, can I give some love real quick to Alex Caruso?
Sure can.
Also, man, I thought that he had a great comeback game after yesterday. His stats weren't even as gaudy as far as the 11 assists and 11 rebounds he had. And I believe he had the same amount of points. He probably had like 4 or 5 points, if I'm not mistaken. On here,
I think he had 5, 5, and 6 tonight.
4, 6, and 5.
There you go. Yeah.
But it was the way he played, the 2 steals and the 2 blocks that he had, and he was under control more so this game than I saw his last one. And again, a lot is because Zach is back. You know what I'm saying? It makes everything a little bit easier. But I like how he played. I just really like how he played. And his 3-pointer that he shot, cash. It was cash when he put that joint in. And I was like, thank you, Alex Caruso. What was that?
That's the Caruso shot. Remember, we covered that the other day.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Caruso form.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. We'll roll with that. But yeah, man, I just wanted to give him some love on that, man. I thought he did a solid job today, and he kind of was in his role kind of situation today, man. And I just enjoy how he played, taking the ball away, making it harder on the defenders out there, man. So yeah, good job by Alex Caruso.
Yes, indeed. A solid game for me. Also, just timely plays, loose balls, go figure.
Yes.
That's what Alex does. He made it like a couple of big key plays when the Bulls were protecting a lead that was shrinking late in that game.
Him and Derrick Jones Jr. too. Big game for him. 12 points off the bench. 13 minutes for Derrick Jones Jr., man. Good
Damn
stuff.
right. Number 17 asking, is that Jordan on that shirt? Do you mean my hoodie right here? Because yes, it is.
Yeah.
You see him wearing a Shady Rays? See those?
Shady.
Also, in case you can't read that, it says greatest of all time.
It does. Joey, who's on my shirt?
I can't see. It's blocked by the mic.
Oh, there it is right there.
I don't know.
The G stands for
Come on, Joe.
not gets.
Joe, it's so easy.
I don't know.
You do know. You
I
absolutely
just
know.
started to say it.
The G stands for not gets.
You absolutely know this answer. Cause I know it because we went over this before when we had it. Man is bad.
Is it Marvin Gaye? Big Dave's favorite artist? See, I'm just going to start defaulting to that guess.
I gave him an easy. I thought this was an easy
It
one.
was.
I
It
like,
was. You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah.
That one's
That
on
was
me.
simple,
I
man.
know that about you. I know that's your
All
number
right,
one.
man.
That's your number one guy.
All right. We'll try again later. I'll make sure it's harder next
Oh.
time.
If it's your first time watching, I'm young and I'm an idiot.
Last comment of the night. Love Dave. Are you referring to this guy right here? Is that your username on YouTube? Love Dave.
Love Dave.
We've been over this before. He's been here before. It's a different Dave.
Okay,
different
cool.
Dave, but
that's
awesome
fine.
name.
But also, everyone loves this one. Hot take: Io will be a better basketball player at the end of his career than Jimmy Butler.
That is a flaming hot
Oh
take.
my God, dude!
Wow.
That gets a wow. Are you serious, hat
Wow.
pro? I mean, I'm not mad. I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
He just wanted to throw a hat.
That take is hot. That is a hot take, sir.
That's
I'm
why he
wondering
threw
how
the
he even
hat.
came up with that. They don't play remotely the same position, really. Well, I don't know. It's interesting. They didn't play
maybe
the
he
Heat
was-
tonight, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe he was watching Jimmy Buckets and the Heat lose
Take
to
that
the
L.
Blazers tonight.
3-point shot at the end.
Yeah, I love that.
Come on, Portland.
That's a double victory for the Bulls.
Come on,
that's
Portland.
a Heat L.
Yep.
And that's give me that draft pick, Portland.
Feeling good about
Get
it.
your way to the playoffs.
We believe in you.
Yes.
We always believe in you. You're the one.
Let's get out of here. Bulls are off tomorrow.
Okay.
We will have a remote show live tomorrow
Remote show.
afternoon, 2:30 Central Time.
Yes.
We're going to be joined by a guest.
Very special one.
I don't know, Joey. I guess you'll have to tune in and find out.
Yes.
Although, if some of you used to watch our show on our old platform, it's a recurring guest.
Recurring
I
guest
think Bulls fans enjoy.
that you guys like.
Bulls fan himself.
He's known a little bit.
He's known a little bit around
People
these
like-
parts.
People seem to like him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So join us for that. We will have a fun guest on tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Podcast for y'all at 2:30.
Yeah.
And then Bulls back in action Wednesday against the Pels. Against the Pels.
Against the Pels.
We will be here for pre and post game for that.
Tough game.
But we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
2:30. CHGO Bulls Podcast live on YouTube. In the meantime, hit us up on Twitter. Bulls_Peck. Bow, BWL Sports. Will, the GOAT, is at Will_Gottlieb. Our guy, Mark, is at MK Hoops. Joey is at Joey Spathis. We are CHGO
Respect us
_
without the blue
Bulls.
check.
We will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, thanks, y'all, for hanging out. As always, hit that thumb before you head out of here for the night. Appreciate you. See Red be good. Bulls win.